Can money make you happy? Can money buy happiness? Does this question make you feel uncomfortable? Well, hold tight. Hopefully by the end of this video, you will have some clarity on this subject. If there's any guilt that you might be carrying regarding the correlation between money and happiness, or even if this just seems like a taboo subject that you've always felt like you shouldn't even dive into, well, today we're going to dive into it and we'll hopefully bring you a lot of peace of mind and some clarity. What's up, everybody? I'm Alicia and I'm a personal finance coach who is passionate about helping people break the paycheck to paycheck cycle so they can finally find some peace of mind when it comes to their money. All right, so the burning question is, can money make you happy, or can money buy happiness? Those sound like the same question, but really they're different. So can money make you happy? I say no. I'm holding a dollar bill. This dollar bill is not going to make me happy. But how about the way that I spend this dollar bill? Absolutely, that can play a big role in someone's happiness. So let's talk a little bit more about how we can use the money that we have worked so hard to earn to fund our best lives and to help fund our happiness. Because as a financial coach, that's what I want for you. That is what I want for my clients. So the first thing we need to do is talk about how happiness can really be separated into two separate groups. The first group is your life evaluation, and life evaluation is really made up of those tangible things. So life evaluation includes your income. It includes if your needs are met. It includes if you're able to purchase any wants or luxury items. So it's an assessment of what you have in your life, of those tangible things that you can touch or put a number to. And then the second group is emotional well-being. So this is really what your quality of life is. And a lot of these things are not as tangible. So we're talking about the level of stress that you might be carrying. We're talking about your family life, your social life. What was your upbringing like? Are there any past experiences that you might be holding on to, both negative and positive, that might be affecting you and your happiness and your well-being today? So as you can see, happiness is not just this one size fits all sort of thing. It's complex. It can be really hard to pinpoint, but there are a lot of factors here. And yes, absolutely, we can use our money to fund things that would bring us happiness in each of those areas that we just discussed. So how do we do this? First thing you want to do is you want to make sure that your money is actually funding all of your needs. When we talk needs, we're talking, do you have a roof over your head? Are you able to pay for transportation? Can you pay for clothing? And can you pay for food? Studies show that a person's happiness, when correlating it to money, increases the most when they're coming out of poverty. So once they reach that threshold where it's like, okay, yes, I can meet all of my needs, that's when happiness actually increases the most. So that's the very first thing you want to do, is make sure your money is funding your needs. So again, how much money we make has a lower correlation towards our happiness than how we are actually spending our money. So this is your opportunity to really think about, what do you love to spend money on? Try to weed out all of those voices in your head that are saying you really should love spending money on this, or you really should not love spending money on this. I want you to think about what was relevant to you. What do you love to spend money on? Some ideas here would be eating out, going and traveling, buying clothes every once in a while, conveniences, stuff like that. So there are no rules here. Don't hold yourself back. Really, truly dive in. Think about what you love to spend money on. And now I want you to imagine if you're able to spend even more money on these things. That might mean instead of shopping at Target for your clothing, you're going to some high-end clothing store to buy clothes that will actually last you a lot longer. Or maybe instead of your vacations being some little town 3 hours from now, which by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. I love me a staycation, but let's say that means that you actually can travel overseas or something like that. So dream big here. And then I want you to start thinking about how you can go ahead and start directing your money towards those things that you love. Of course, if you are carrying a bunch of debt, this is a good opportunity to just smash that debt, get it behind you as soon as you can, because this is what's really going to free up more money to fund the things that you love. Also, think about your income. Are there any ways that you can increase your income? Maybe go for a promotion at your job, or ask for a raise, or find a new job. So getting your spending under control and increasing your income, this is going to be the power horse that really drives you towards directing your money towards happiness. Another big thing that studies have shown is that people who are generous with their money tend to be the happiest people. That tends to be the way that you could spend your money that correlates with the most happiness and return. So keep that in mind too. Are there any charities out there that you would just love to give to? Again, don't think about about those things that you feel like you should give to or that someone might be pressuring you to give to, but what are those things that you really love to give to? Think about those. You might be surprised how good it feels to just give some of your money freely like that. So as an example of how this can affect someone's life and their money, I've got a client who works in the fashion industry and her job is to design handbags. She absolutely loves clothes. She loves handbags and she loves to design them. But in this community of other people who are in the fashion industry, there's kind of this like unspoken rule that you must always be wearing the most fashionable, trendy, up-to-date clothing. And for my client, she was trying so hard to keep up with that. She was spending all her money. She was spending money that she didn't even have on clothes that really she didn't even want. She really didn't love to wear. So yes, she loved designing fashion and designing handbags, but she didn't necessarily love spending all of her money on these things. And through a series of coaching sessions, she realized that there were other things she wanted to direct her money towards. And we were able to figure out what her values really were. And now she freely spends money on stuff that she loves because it's relevant to her. And she cuts more on buying new clothing to keep up with some status quo, which by the way, none of her coworkers have even noticed. So this is just one example of how this can affect a person if you really dive in and get intentional about directing your money towards things that will bring you the most fulfillment. If this is something that you would love to dive into, you're just not sure where to start, go ahead and schedule a call with one of our coaches. We'll put a link in the description box below to one of our calendars. It's a free, no obligation call. We will help you get some direction towards your priorities and your values, help you start funding your life, your best life that will bring you the most happiness. And if you'd like to know more about values-based spending, we recently released a video where we walked you through an exercise that will help you figure out what your values are and how to direct your money in that area. So go ahead and check that video out right here.